About 22 years ago, my then girlfriend, now ex-girlfriend, and I were on a nowhere in particular to go road trip. I think we were somewhere in Nebraska, if I had to guess. It was one of those states that seems to be about 90% corn and 10% nothing else. We stopped somewhere for the night at this little podunk motel that had only 5 or 6 rooms available. Because we were tired and needed to stop. We've been driving for almost 2 days. Really, well, I've been driving for 2 days. My girlfriend was not. It was late when we went in, and my girlfriend started walking towards the reception room. She stopped and called out for me to come with her. I was looking around this actually kind of torn apart place. There's a dude at the desk inside, and he is huge, like terrifyingly huge. I don't think like at least 6'5", maybe 300, 400 pounds. I'm not such, I'm not like a tiny guy, but in the big guy department either, but this guy towered over me by about 10 or 12 inches, which would make him about, 6'5", maybe about 300 pounds. He also looked like a tree. So we walk in and ask for a room. The guy smiles, nods, writes some things on the desk, takes my cash, hands us a key. There's TVs on the desk, 4 or 5 of them, like stereotypical CCTV display from the 80s. Look down, notice only one screen. And no joke, it was porn. It was pornographic. More on this later. The guy is wearing jogging pants and clearly has an erection. I take the key and we go outside. I just hope my girlfriend did not see that. My girlfriend is short and didn't see over the desk, so she didn't see the porn, at least I hope. The porn was weird. I think it was questionably legality of it. There was a number of youngish women who looked about mid-teen years working out in a gymnasium nude. They were vaguely robotic looking as if they were acting badly, but then again though, porn actors are terrible actors though. I took in only about 8-10 seconds of the porn, but the images have stuck with me over the years. We were both very, very creeped out when we discussed this in our room. I leaned our very large suitcase up against the door and put a vase on the suitcase so the door would open, the vase would fall. I also raided the windows with some plastic cups, so if the windows opened, the cups would squish and make some noise. Now, I never did this before in a hotel, but then again, the hotels that we stayed in, though, were hotels, not motels, and this motel seemed pretty sketchy, so I just thought it would just be best if we did. We both showered, and then we conked out on the bed at about 11:45. 3:30 a.m. rolls around. I wake up, I'm groggy, I don't really know what's happening. I just feel weird. I decided to go grab a drink and get some ice from the foyer. A big dude is not around. I decided to look over the CCTVs on the desk, seeing what's what, because they're still on. The one screen still has that same porn. One screen is showing surveillance in the parking lot. And then I gasp. The other screen is showing surveillance from inside our room. Girlfriend is fast asleep on the bed. I leave, go pick up the car quick, wake up my girlfriend and put her in the car still. Well, she fell asleep still. And we got the fuck out of there. I had no idea what in the fuck, how that person had a camera in our room. I had no idea why or how we didn't notice there was a fucking camera, a surveillance camera in our room that the fucking guy was looking at. But, word of advice, never go to a motel, and only go to hotels that you know is safe and not sketchy, and not in Nebraska. Fuck Nebraska from that day on. About 1 month ago, I was in Kansas City on a business trip. I had been there a few times, so I was getting pretty used to the town. After my last night in Kansas City, I never wanted to go back again. It was a little after 10 at night, and I had been to Jack Stack's, the best barbecue in the city, is what it was advertised as. And I was feeling a bit tipsy when I got back to the nearby hotel. as I've had a few extra drinks than I thought I was gonna have. In my less than sober state, I decided that I need to put my complimentary water on ice for the morning. I was barefoot and I put on a Mario theme pajama pants. Was expecting to wear them outside the hotel room. Whatever. No one I know in Kansas City. I wedged the lock in the door to keep it open as I walked the ice machine down the hall. Out of order. Okay, I'll just take the elevator to the next floor and get ice there. Whatever, I don't care. I pressed the button to take me up to the top floor. There's no way that the concierge level would have a broken ice machine. Now, here's the thing. Now, why is the concierge on the top floor? I don't know. But in Kansas City, a lot of hotels are like that. It's just how it is. Let me know in the comments down below if you're from Kansas City and why the concierge is on the top floor. Or if, or if you're not from Kansas City and the concierge level is on the top floor for y'all at your local hotel. Let me know in the comments down below. I appreciate that. And immediately, all I heard coming from the elevator shaft was a man hollering, screaming, and shouting, "Arr! You're hurting me, let me go, arr!" My first instinct was some kids horsing around on the elevator, but what if I was wrong? I didn't know what was waiting for me on the other side, so I decided I would drink my water warm in the morning. I walked, then ran back to my room. At the time, I thought that was where the story ended, but I wouldn't have written this story though if that's where it ended. But I would find out who was in the elevator the next night. My colleague Peter and I were in line for the jetway to head back to Boston the day after the ice machine elevator incident, and Peter asked me if I heard about the police at the hotel the previous night. I asked him if it was a little after 10. Pete told me what happened then. Peter was in the hotel bar doing some work when a group of girls in still wet bathing suits came out of the elevator and hurried into a corner of the lobby. One of the women working the front desk went over to the girls and then rushed the desk to make a phone call. 2 minutes later, the police arrived there. And then Pete heard the same shouting I had run from the night before. The elevator doors opened and the police emerged carrying a bare-ass naked man. They brought him through the lobby, naked and shined the whole way until they got him outside into the paddy wagon. Peter spoke to the manager and asked what the heck that was all about. She told him that the naked man was going from floor to floor with a knife, hopped up on God knows what, and he reached the pool and the girls were able to get away. I don't want to know what would have happened if I had left my hotel room a few minutes earlier. Moral of the story, use the refrigerator in your room to chill your water. And just, you never really know what could happen. So, well, this isn't my story, though. This is a friend's, and she let me tell the story. So, my friend Susan and another friend of hers go on a road trip every year around Halloween looking for a haunted place to check out. Yes, they're weird, but, they do generally make a big trip out of it, and it can take a couple of days for them to reach their destination. One year they've been traveling through some fairly desolate area, which you can get when you leave coastal California, which is where we all stayed at. And they decided to call it a night when they came across a little old motel. They checked in as normal and proceeded to their room, where they quickly got ready for bed and hit the hay, being very exhausted, as usually their drives are about 12-14 hours straight. But in the middle of the night, Susan heard something like the door unlocking. She thought it was her friend at first, maybe getting something from the car. She closed her eyes and started to drive off again. When it sounded more frantic, this hotel had the chain locks you can put on that allow you to open the door a bit. When Susan looked up at the door, it was slightly open with a man's arm trying to reach in. She ran up to the door and threw her full weight against it. She and her friend called the police, who took a while to get there. They talked to the two of them, and then they went to talk to the front desk guy. The guy looked off, and he was holding his arm oddly. The police couldn't really get him on anything, apparently because the hotel didn't have any cameras, and there was no witness besides Susan, which, was only like one person. Susan was also not sure it was him, but the girls were sure they didn't want to stay there anymore. With the police waiting by the door, they packed their bags and started the next leg of their journey. A little worse for Ware, and not as excited about the creepy haunted houses. And about 3 years later, they have never gone to another place like that since, and probably won't be coming back to a motel anytime soon. So, well, this isn't my story though. This is a friend's, and she let me tell the story. So, my friend Susan and another friend of hers go on a road trip every year around Halloween, looking for a haunted place to check out. Yes, they're weird, but they do generally make a big trip out of it, and it can take a couple of days for them to reach their destination. One year they've been traveling through some fairly desolate area, which you can get when you leave coastal California, which is where we all stayed at. And they decided to call it a night when they came across a little old motel. They checked in as normal and proceeded to their room, where they quickly got ready for bed and hit the hay, being very exhausted, as usually their drives are about 12, 14 hours straight. But in the middle of the night, Susan heard something like the door unlocking. She thought it was her friend at first, maybe getting something from the car. She closed her eyes and started to drift off again. When it sounded more frantic, this hotel had the chain locks you can put on that allow you to open the door a bit. When Susan looked up at the door, it was slightly open with a man's arm trying to reach in. She ran up to the door and threw her full weight against it. She and her friend called the police, who took a while to get there. They talked to the two of them, and then they went to talk to the front desk guy. The guy looked off, and he was holding his arm oddly. The police couldn't really get him on anything, apparently because the hotel didn't have any cameras, and there was no witness besides Susan, which, was only like one person. Susan was also not sure it was him, but the girls were sure they didn't want to stay there anymore. With the police waiting by the door, they packed their bags and started the next leg of their journey. A little worse for Ware, and not as excited about the creepy haunted houses. And about 3 years later, they have never gone to another place like that since, and probably won't be coming back to a motel anytime soon. In 2017, I stayed at a Quality Inn in a Midwest town, the kind of where it's one of the better places in town, but where the room doors are still outside in the cold. Nice breakfast without powdered eggs, with thick well-seasoned potatoes, some nice cut maple bacon. Big halls with fancy carpet, Walmart across the street, pedestrians not treated nicely, indoor heated pool and hot tub. I decided to visit the hot tub. Had been in once before on a prior layover. Not exactly the same hotel, but same chain, same name, just a different location. There were some kids on a visiting high school team who were goofing off nice enough. Went again, and there was no one in the pool. There was a lone man in the hot tub. The jets are on bubbles, cover the top of the tub. I say hello and slowly lower my body into the warm water. The man says nothing. I enjoy, getting in. Within a minute, the man exits the hot tub. He is naked. I'm not expecting this, but I'm not offended. I've been in enough rural hot springs, nude hot. Not enough to care. I just didn't really care, but it was a little strange though, seeing the guy naked. Another minute passes, and the timer on the wall that activates the jets has reached zero. The bubbles slowly subside. There is debris in the water, now visible as the bubbles pop. I notice one, then another, then another, then another. Is that? I stopped and I jumped straight out. I try to look around to see if this is like a joke or something, but I soon realized that it was anything but a joke. And then everything started to click. Why the man didn't say anything? Why he was naked? Why, as soon as he saw the timer about to, reach zero, why he got out? Why he didn't? Why he looked a little bit uneasy? And why he kind of sprinted out of the pool? It's floating. The man had shit in the hot tub. No fucking joke. There was poop all over the hot tub. I thought it was just like leaves or something, or maybe pool toys. No. The man had taken several shits in the hot tub. Last time I ever went to a hot tub. Last time I ever went to any pool in any hotel that I stayed in. I went to hotels later. Never even thought about going into the pool. In fact, I even started to, go into hotels where I knew they did not have pools, especially inside. I never, ever wish to see that or even wish upon that on my enemies. Ever. Because it was absolutely shocking, and I took 4 showers because of how grossed out and how uneasy I was just seeing that in the fucking bathroom. I didn't know what the hell. I didn't know why that man decided it would be such a great idea to do it. But I'm happy that I don't need to be back for that. This is back in 2018. 2 men were staying in the hotel together. By the time my shift started, they had already been moved to a new room because of my smell. They ordered room service and I took it up for them. Dude is clearly on something. He answers the door in just a pair of boxers and the entire room just reeks of something. I didn't really know what it was. Usually people let you in so you can put the food down for them, as it's a fancy hotel and people hate doing things themselves. The dude just grabs it and shuts the door. Weird, I thought. I told the manager on duty about the obviously smoking in the room smell, the fact that the dude was clearly high as fuck on something. He tells me they're keeping an eye on them, and if I could just try to peer inside the room by using the peephole, then that'd be great. Skip to dinner, and it's just me and the spa receptionist working. The restaurant was in the spa. I don't know why, it just was. Those 2 dudes came down for dinner, and I sit them close to the bar so I keep an eye on them and give them meat service to get them out of here. They ordered olives. So many olives. Just olives. Like, again, let me just say this again. Just olives. I thought it was weird. Just so weird. But only the green ones. The manager to pour the liquid all over the table. They also ask for sandwiches when I offer them the panini menu. They just say, no, I just want cheese sandwiches. Just cheese in between 2 pieces of bread. I mean, they were weird, so I didn't really know, what I was expecting. So, I bring them sandwiches, which they deconstruct and only eat the bread of. What? And they ordered some sort of soup, which they pour on the table. And, and obviously, I can't really do anything even after they pour the soup out on the table, though, because there's a policy in the hotel that I used to work at, which we have to do, or we can't kick the guests out for anything unless it's illegal. They leave to go into the pool, but not before taking 8 shots each and paying in cash from their inch-thick stack of 20s. I call up the manager on the other side of the hotel and tell them these dudes are clearly on high or something, or just on some very heavy drugs. They were covered in undressed wounds that looked very, very fresh. Literally seconds later, the usually incredible observed manager comes into the restaurant with his phone, and he's like, "You won't believe this shit." Like, oh my god, I gotta hear this. They had been in their room. The headboard had been torn from the wall. There was spit and piss and blood in the bathroom wall. Blood was all over the walls, and the smashed up phone and a shattered chair and lamp, which they had seen using the shards to cut themselves to flick blood everywhere, is what the manager thought. There's also a very sizable amount of drugs. He's like, fried pano as soon as, which is what they called. I mean, my name is Franco, but he used to call me fried pano because he was foreign. As soon as they come out of the pool, you need to take them to the main reception. The police are going to be waiting in the library room. But if you get them to reception, we'll take it from there. And I'm like, okay. Because I'm 5'6", 18-year-old girl, and I'm terrified of what these two meth heads could do. They figure out I'm lying, because they're pretty big. Also, though, I just want to say before I get any more, if you're thinking, what's up with the library room? So in this hotel, the managers are huge bookheads, as in like they love books. They love every single kind of book. There's not every single book that I read, they read it at least 3 times. Eventually, they came out and I gave them a really sweet smile and let them know there was an issue with them not signing the room service bill earlier, so they would please mind following me to reception just for a second to get a signature. They agree. As we chat, I take them over there, which is really weird because I know I'm walking them to their arrest. Then as soon as we round, turning tail and accidentally give them a habitual "have a great night, guys." When I left work the night, they were screaming as they were pushed into the back of the police car, and the nice manager walked me to my car in case they came after me. Now, this happened a little bit later. Edit. From what I remember, they were charged with drug possession and the attempt to sell it. They then fined for all damages to the hotel, including draining the pool and deep cleaning it because the blood got in. So they had to pay everyone in the hotel back for them not being able to use the pool too. But I guess it would easily be about £10,000-15,000 UK. All I would say is this is the last time I ever worked in the hotel, and the last time I ever wanted to stay in a hotel. The truth.